All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I had to scream in Loyalist ear to announce ourselves. Hey, I'm Lawrence Owen, as usual with me, Colts Loyalist. Today is Tuesday. I am doing a live stream on a Tuesday. What the heck is wrong with me? Well, what's wrong with me is what I saw on Sunday. And knowing that we have a heck of a defense that we have to go up against again this Sunday. And we got to decide, in all actual honesty, at this point, it's not about guys in there, whether they're injured or whether they're backups or how, what the coaches. Sometimes you just got to walk in and have a mindset that, you know what, I am going to go out today and I'm going to put myself out on the line and we are going to win this game. And I am about at that point with the Colts that every stinking player that walks onto that field has to have that mindset and put it out there. What are you thinking, Loyalist?
I agree completely. These guys have to do some soul searching. I mean, I'm glad to hear that Darius is pissed off, okay? And but you know what? I expect nothing less from him, you know what I mean? And I understand that we have some good leaders in it, but like I said, this game, when you look at the rest of the schedule and stuff, this game for me it's a gut check. This is the one where you sit there and you say, okay, we all strap our pants on and our shoes on the same darn way. The league is sort of coming to us as far as they're getting, other teams are getting a little banged up. We're starting to get a little bit healthier. So that's sort of balancing out. But like you said, this is an AFC game that we just, I know it's, AFC South is what we got to focus on, but I'm looking at the big picture. I want to be a playoff team, and I feel like this rough start can be put to rest as long as we take care of our own AFC South schedule and then just go out and win these AFC games this week and next week. And just like I said, just finally do that gut check and just say, you know what, tired of excuses, tired of, explanations or whatever. It's time to sit there and just put your best foot forward and then let the chips fall where they may.
Man, I'll tell you what, when the schedule dropped for the 2021 NFL season, I looked at that first 5 games and I was like, oh crap, what a gauntlet. But week 4 is the game I circled. That's the game I circled. I was like, that should be our easiest game. That should be the game that we should win. Out of all 5 games, Miami should be the game, because I'm still a little questionable on the quarterback situation, right? Didn't matter who was out there, whether it was Brissett, whether it was Tua. Well, we know now it's going to be Brissett. And we know that Brissett does not like throwing deep. He is a check down Charlie kind of guy. Very safe, does not turn the ball over, so it's going to be a big game for the defense to try to create turnovers and not get gifted ones the way Ryan Tannehill handed the Colts 2 of them a couple days ago. Anthony Hurt in here says, y'all heard anything on Quentin Nelson? Other than he has an ankle sprain, no. Hopefully there's not 2 ankle sprains because we don't need him following. What is he doing following in the footsteps of Carson Wentz? Okay? First he has a stupid same bone in his foot floating around, has to have the same surgery, out the same amount of time, comes back, plays the same amount of games, and then 1 week after Carson Wentz rolls his ankle and is out the game. What in the...
I told you, Q is the truest team player. His empathy is ridiculous.
It's stupid ridiculous. His empathy needs to be like DeForest Buckner. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dominate and not get hurt. Okay? I mean, that's just how I see it. Wentz season says Dolphins aren't that good. This will be embarrassment if we lose to Jacoby Brissett. Now, I will say this. Of the defenses, right, they have the second best defense we've faced so far. Rams number 1, but Miami's got the second best defense in football, at least when it comes against the pass. They might have the
Secondary.
best pass defense right now. I mean, their secondary is like really good, and they got some really good pass rushers, which is scary considering what we know about our offensive line and the fact that Carson Wentz is back there on two peg legs. So that's a scary situation. But I feel like our defense should be able to hold Miami to under 26.5 points, which is what the Colts defense is averaging right now, giving up per game. I feel like we could hold them to somewhere between 14 and 17 points. I hope. I truly, truly hope. Alpha Wolf says, on a positive note, I think Reed did a really good job coming in for Nelson. And you're right. I do believe he did as well. But, I mean, to be fair, we need our best people out on the field. You know what I mean? And is it 80% Nelson better than 100% Reed? Probably. I like Reed. But good Lord, Nelson's the best in the league. Right? So we'll see how that rolls out. I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't want Nelson re-aggravating it anymore. Frank Reich even said that Carson Wentz re-aggravated the real bad ankle during the game. So that's not a good situation either. Call me hoarse. Why is Carson playing? Well, Carson is playing because of two reasons. One, he is a good quarterback, okay? He's got experience. And I think, he's better than Hundley at throwing the football. And he's better at reading pre-snap defenses, and getting checks in better than Jacob Eason, right? Because that's an issue that Jacob Eason's been having for a while now, all offseason, preseason. Frank Reich says that's something that he's been working on. He's gotten a lot better at it, but he still has a ways to go. And you expect that from a guy who only played 2 years in college and not, now 5 snaps in the NFL. So you expect that. But Carson's just, better than what we have currently. And that's why he's out there. He gives us the best chance of winning. So that's why he's out there.
I also think that there's a little bit of, because I feel like I don't agree with the way this quarterback situation has been dealt with, especially over the last couple weeks. I feel like, I don't like the way the whole Eason situation, whether Carson did play or didn't play, was dealt with last week. I haven't fully understood why Eason had the training camp and the battle. We discussed it. I felt like he was noticeably better than Ellinger, but there again, the Colts saw something. So, but another thing I like to factor into this is I think that, Coach Reich knows. He realizes that his wagon's hitched to Carson. He realizes that this, he stuck his neck out, and so now he's trying to do everything he can to make this particular choice work out. And sometimes, and he's proven this with Vinatieri and stuff. Sometimes his loyalty to a situation or to a decision, I feel like, hinders us as far as making the right choices. Because me personally, and I know I was like, hey, I want to see Carson start, please, but then whenever I seen how limited he was, Coach says 70%, I'd give it maybe 40, 45% at best, But after seeing how limited and you could see how Carson was like, okay, pressure's coming, dump it off, just throw it in the ground. That was, okay, if that's the philosophy, is it really better to have him back there than it is to have somebody who can at least, whether it's Hundley or Eason, whatever you choose, at least they have their legs underneath them. That play where you've seen this massive wide open field, and then he just sort of flips it over to Naheem because he knows, and I understand why Carson did it. He knew that he wasn't going to make that. But the thing is if we had Hundley or if we had Eason in that spot, even Eason being limited mobility, and his natural gifts or lack thereof, he still would have, I believe, gotten the first down in that situation. So, I do believe that there is, like you said, in the coach's mind that this is the best chance that we had to win. But watching him play last week, I don't feel like that. I feel like it was definitely more of a choice that fit this narrative that has been attached to him, whether it's right or wrong.
Okay, so the more I thought about it, and it took me a while. I mean, I sat here and pondered for hours on end about why Jacob Eason was not playing and why Hundley was brought up from practice squad. Well, for one, with Wentz and his injury, there was a very high probability that he would be pulled out of the game due to injury, right? So you needed two quarterbacks. First and foremost, two quarterbacks. So you needed two back there because, if he has to get pulled, you need a backup for the backup when there's a high probability that your starter might get hurt. Didn't want to start Eason. And I understand why now. Because of the offensive line problems, right? Eason has been accurate as heck standing in the pocket. Through training camp, through preseason, very accurate. But the problem he has is he doesn't know when to take off when he needs to take off. He can run. We've seen it. And he's good at it. He just don't know when to. And then, of course, his pre-snap reads. And because of the poor O-line play this season, almost every snap needs pre-snap reads and adjustment on the protection. Because there's always a blitz coming from somewhere. We've been seeing it. And Eason just doesn't have the experience to recognize that yet, right?
Okay, but he didn't have experience. They already knew that he didn't have experience, okay? They knew that going into training camp. They knew that when Ellinger got hurt. To me, like I said, they knew that Eason didn't have this experience. I understand Hundley's got a little more experience, but it's nothing I'm going to sit there and hang my hat on. You know what I mean? But the thing is you sit there and you talk about how poor our offensive line is playing right now. It's still light years better than anything he experienced during training camp. You know what I mean? The offensive line play that he and to me, like I said, you're right. I do feel like we needed two quarterbacks. I do feel like that it needed to be whether it was Hundley and Eason or Eason and Hundley. I just feel like Carson, seeing how limited he was, and I don't know. Maybe the coach is sitting there saying the same thing to himself. Maybe he's like, okay, I made this decision, but once I saw it, it wasn't what I thought it was. I don't know. But, to me, I feel like, Eason is just, you gave the guy, we gave up a 4th-round draft pick. We've already sacrificed this year's, 5th-round draft pick? No, 7th. Yeah, Davis. We already got rid of that draft pick. Okay.
5th round.
Now we got a 4th-round draft pick that we sit there and we say the biggest thing is he needs experience, but yet every opportunity that he's had, we muddy the water, whether it's through training camp and now bringing Ellinger and mixing it up and taking away reps. I just feel like there's too much flip-flopping on the quarterback situation, whether it's starter or backup. For me, that is what, I told you I felt like has been the chink in coach's armor this year. I feel like it's just he's not got the answers like I felt like he has in years past.
See, when I look at Eason, I see him as a long-term guy, someone that, with a year of practice, he could be a starter in the NFL. And it's because of the mental aspect of the football rather than the physical, right? And he, like last year, we talked about it. He had no snaps, no practice snaps, no nothing, nothing at all ever. And he's just getting that now. I think they kept him on because they looking at him as the possible future guy for the Colts, but he needs practice snaps in order to be that guy. That's why he's on the 53. I just don't think that they want him to be, the guaranteed backup right yet. And that's the situation that I'm seeing. And that puts you in a situation because if he could get the mental part of football down, the pre-snap reads and the adjustments and things of that nature, I think Eason will be solid. I think he could be a starter in the NFL if he could get that down.
Yeah.
But he needs practice reps for that. You can't just sit him on, on the practice squad and be a scout team guy, all the time, because you're not going to get any practice reps during practice against your actual defense. So they're kind of in that bad situation of, we have a backup, but he's not the backup we need right now, but he could be in the near future. I got this weird feeling that if Ehlinger, once he comes off IR and is fully healthy, I don't think we'll have Hundley on the team anymore. Because Ehlinger, I think, is NFL ready when it comes to the mental aspects. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't like the idea of him being our starter, obviously, because his arm strength, his throwing power leaves the ball in the air way too long for the defense to make plays on. That's just all there is to it. I mean, his stats and his play during preseason should prove that to everybody. But I do like it. It's just, I get where the coaches are coming from. With Wentz, But with Wentz though, I'm with you. I wish they hadn't started him though, because that's just that much longer it's going to take for him to get his ankles better to be playing, at a spot where he's comfortable. The only benefit of playing him is just maybe, last week's game had forced him to change his game just enough to where he has to, quick reads, quick release, that maybe it'll be easier for him the next time to do it, and then the next time to do it, and the next time to do it. You get what I'm saying? That's the only
yeah,
benefit
and I've
that
heard that. I mean, and I've heard that, but let's look at his career at Philly. If that was going to be the case, if you really thought that was going to be the scenario that was going to change his style of, or help the strength, wouldn't he have done it last year? I mean, he showed last year that this wasn't his strong suit, and I feel like he pretty much answered for us that this will never be his strong suit. Playing it safe. I mean, we had another quarterback just like that, you know what I mean? In Love, you know what I mean? Playing it safe just does not fit into their wheelhouse. And I'm even fine with that. I like that. I like to sit there and have a quarterback, that's willing to, risk a little loss for a big gain and stuff like that. But the thing is if they were really that concerned, I mean, you sit there and you talked about the mentality, and I know I'm muddying it up a little bit, but Easton, when we brought him in, everybody was like, oh, he's not mentally prepared. No, look at what Easton's gone through this year. You're the backup. And then whenever first opportunity to become something, no, don't worry about it. We're going to bring Ellen here and compete. And then, but no, you're our backup. And then the first chance in the regular season, but no, it's nothing you're doing. It's like that boyfriend, girlfriend. It's not you, it's me, crud.
I get you, and that's funny.
That is. But my point is, if they had that concern, then Hundley's not the answer. I mean, no knock on the young man or anything, but his experience is it's marginal in my eyes. I mean, if you were really that concerned about it, shouldn't you made that decision, at the end of training camp and maybe brought in a more veteran quarterback or somebody with that experience? If that was really the only reason.
Because fair on fair, Hundley doesn't even have the accuracy of any of these quarterbacks. He doesn't have the accuracy of Ehlinger. He doesn't have the accuracy of Eason. He doesn't have the accuracy of Wentz. All right, as a quarterback. Now, can he move around? Yes. Does he have experience? Yes. He played 6 games with Green Bay. Woohoo. He's got 6 years experience in the NFL, so he understands, a lot of how the NFL runs and plays and all that. But he's just not a good quarterback, and that's what got me worrying a little bit. But you know what? We answered that. We spent 20 minutes of this stream talking about Eason, Wentz, Ehlinger, and Hundley. And it has nothing to do, really, with who needs to step up. Because, honestly, when it comes to stepping up, you can't step up more than what Wentz has stepped up so far this season, in my opinion, in the circumstances that he's been under. I mean, who in their right mind? He shouldn't even been playing, this past Sunday, and yet, he stepped up and was like, I'm going to. And then for some reason, Frank Reich was like, okay. But
and that's right there. That's where I feel like this actually, for me personally, this feeds into exactly who I feel like needs to step up, and that's Coach Reich. And I mean, I honestly feel like some of these decisions and stuff, I don't know if I'm a total fan of Coach Reich. I'm not sitting there trying to say that, oh, he's on the hot seat. Or I just don't agree with the way certain things have been handled this year. I feel like things have been made a little more complicated than they needed to be. And I felt like if these situations, like, okay, last week, and I understand Marlon Mack, you're wanting to sit there and possibly trade him or what. Okay. So yeah, I guess that takes away because I understand you don't want him to get hurt, but like you
at
said
the
earlier in a
same
tweet,
time,
don't you want him to show off it's like that pretty little girlfriend. You want to see the leg before you decide to, if she's going to be worth dancing with and stuff. You know what I mean? You wanted to let Mac get out there and this was the defense last week. Tennessee was the defense that Marlon Mack, that game of the four. Miami maybe, but of the 5 games, Tennessee and Miami are the 2 games where I would love to have seen Marlon have an opportunity to shine and show that, hey, I'm back from this Achilles. And I'm not saying, give him 15, 20 carries. I'm not saying that. But if you could have gave him 7 or 8 just to go out and put some film on, current film.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not as hard on Reich as what a lot of people are saying. His in-game calling is what ticking people off, and I actually disagree. I actually agree with a lot of what Reich's done in the season so far. When I went back and watched the game, like live watching, he played run plays when he needed to play run plays. Yes, I get it. In the first 3 quarters, there was 17 runs. I understand that. But at the same time, they only had the ball for 10 freaking minutes the entire first half. How many freaking plays do you think they had? They ran the ball nearly as much as they passed the ball in the first half, right? And then in the second half and the third quarter, they went down. They had to go passing because, I think they could have threw a couple extra runs in there. Mm-hmm. But they were down 2 scores. I understand they wanting to move the ball and try to score. I get that. But
our passing game last weekend wasn't going to move the ball that much. No matter what, Carson wasn't going to be able to sit in the pocket for the run for the route to be run 15 yards down the field.
No, so, but if you see 8-9 guys in the box, are you going to run the freaking football?
As long as they're getting 6 yards a carry, yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's do it. And I understand they're down 2 possessions, but I remember last year.
And that's a Wentz thing, not a Reich thing, by the way.
What's that?
In the fourth quarter, that was Wentz. Reich said that he gave Wentz 2 plays each time, a pass play and a run play. He could check it either way. And whenever they were loaded the box, Wentz went with a pass. And whenever they didn't load the box, Wentz went with the run. So that's a Wentz, not a Reich. Just letting people understand that.
Yeah, but there again, the coach can, if he realizes that, okay, he keeps switching out these runs, and I'm not saying take Jonathan Taylor and run his head, but it wasn't like he was running into these, this heavy box and not getting anything. There was open lanes. He was making plays. Yes, I know he did tremendous with run after catch, but that's who he is. That's what we need him to be. So good, great, But like I said, I remember last year we had a game where we were down 10 points or something, and the coach stuck with the run game mm-hmm. And we can't. And I'm sorry, I can't remember which game it was, but I remember thinking to myself, man, he's sticking with this thing. Then all of a sudden there was a turnover, boom, boom. Next thing you know, we won the game, and I'm like, that sticking with that run game really played to our strengths, and that is what I felt like we stayed true to ourselves.
Yeah, we should have done that this past game. I do agree. In the fourth quarter, 13 pass plays to 1 run, even down 9 points, which is the most that we were down the entire game, 9 points, right? Yeah. We should have ran the ball. I get it. And I honestly think that Marlon Mack should have had a few carries. That's an issue. Like I said, in my opinion, it's not really, though, the play calls. I thought the calls that he called were good. When he decided to kick the field goal, I was good with that. When he decided to go for it on 4th down, I was good with that. I was like, you're doing the right stuff here, right? But My issue I have with Reich is, why are you starting Wentz?
Yes, exactly.
Why is it Mac not getting a few carries? Even if you want to trade him, it seems like it'd be smart to do that. Why aren't you playing calls to the strengths of the wide receivers to get them separation on quick routes, for quick routes, when obviously Carson Wentz was having issues? He wasn't going to be able to extend the play, and they were loading the box and bringing pressure, run blitzing, which would then go into the pass blitz afterwards, if it was a pass instead of a run. Situation like that. I want to see more stacked receivers, right? I want to see more of that. I want to see more times where if a tackle is having issues, you put a tight end over there and say, don't worry about chipping. Your job is to straight up help block this entire play, okay? That's what I want to see. When you have a guy who is not mobile, you need to give him time. End of story. That way, the guards in the center can deal with the center, and your tight ends and tackles can deal with the edges. That's how I see it. I don't care. Go out there in a big formation. Go out there with 6 offensive linemen. I don't care. Just protect the quarterback when he can't move. That's all I want to see. Mm-hmm. It'll also help with the run game. I mean, I don't know. You would think that 6 offensive linemen would be able to block better than 5. Just a thought, I do question why was Mike Strawn a healthy scratch as well? That was an interesting situation.
They moved to Michael Harris up, which I understand he offers a little bit more into the special teams and stuff. But what we have 3 wide receivers on the active roster during game, at kickoff time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not enough options. Could you imagine? I'm going to put it out here. Could you imagine if Paris Campbell would have gotten hurt last week, or or God forbid, somebody else in the receiving corps? I mean, seriously, we were looking at Nyheim Hines going, "You're a wide receiver the rest of this game." Like I said, I love this organization. I am a total fan of Coach Reich. This is not me.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there are some decisions. And like I said, aside from running plays versus pass plays late in the fourth quarter, I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm mad about a lot of the things that Reich does. And the reason I wanted to start with these guys is because, honestly, I feel like this isn't where we're going to find our difference maker to win this week. I feel like really the side of the ball that we need to step up, that we need the players, and that's the defensive side of the ball. I mean, now we got Xavier Rhodes. He's been back another week. He's got more, he's got some of that rust off,
Yeah, Xavier's got to step up.
Yeah, Darius Leonard, I don't know how or what you're dealing with, brother. And all I can say is we hear all the barking, man. We love all the barking. We love everything you're saying. Now all I'm saying is it's time for that rubber to meet the road, man. Let's do everything that you're saying. Let's get out there. Let's show the hustle. Let's show the dog determination that you keep telling us about. And I do. I believe every bit of, I believe in Darius Leonard, and I do feel like he can dig deep and find a little something to give this team. And then Bobby, you've got to quit getting caught up in the wash, dude, on these run plays. I've never seen, I can't say that, but he just gets so caught up in the wash on these run plays, and then it's like he just is not, whether it's strength or whether it's skill, he just doesn't get, once it's play over, that whatever happens, he's already been eliminated from the equation.
Kenny Moore, my boy, you are supposed to be our best corner on the team, and you are right now ranked something like 98th in the NFL. All right, at quarterback or at corner, right? 98th. That's terrible. Okay, you need to step up. I don't know. I haven't seen him on the injury report, so I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's just having issues with personnel around him, if he's not understanding what's going on. But Kenny Moore, you're getting burnt, and you're getting burnt. I mean, people are targeting you. It showed in week 1 against Seattle, and then the Rams and even the Titans have jumped on top of it. And they've just been picking on you all year. Let's see what you could do. Let's see if you can't step up and be the guy that we know you can be and that you have been in the past, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, last year, I would have taken Kenny Moore over anybody in the red zone. I mean, he was shutting these guys down, 2 plays in the red zone back to back. I mean, all year long, he was shutting these guys down. And then last week, Chester Rogers just runs a simple little, jab, step, cut in, and slant route, and he scores a touchdown because you're playing too soft. I don't. Is this the scheme change that Eberflus was warning us about? Because if it is, let's go back to the old way, because I don't understand how Kenny because like you said, I don't hear of any injuries or anything. So is this a scheme thing? And I wish we had all 22. Is this a scheme thing? Is this, is his expectations from the coaches and stuff, is it different? Or is he really just, compared to last year, is he really just missing those playmaking? Because that was the thing. Kenny Moore, I mean, teams last year got inside the 10 and we were like, that's all right. We got Kenny Moore. We got Darius Leonard. They're going to knock the ball out. They're going to intercept it. They're going to, what I mean? And now we've got Rock on the other side performing like we've been screaming for 2.5 years. And now Kenny and Xavier or non. It's like, man, let's get this thing all together. I don't know what universe favors we have to do, but let's everybody get on the same page at the same time. Because this defense, I feel like this defense can still. I mean, and I know, but I do believe that we can still pin our ears back. I still believe in Kwity Paye when he gets back to full health. I believe in Kamoko Toure. I'm really pleased with what I've seen from Al-Qadim Muhammad in the run-stopping defense. Like I said, I think Okereke and Leonard both have all the gifts that they need to just, let's just get it, guys. Let's quit talking about it and do it.
Okay, Ray K.
Oh, yeah. Okereke.
Okereke, yeah.
Sorry about that. That's going to take a while for me.
It is, because we've been calling you Okereke for 2 years. It's Okereke. Oh,
thanks,
my goodness.
Pat. McAfee got me. He ruined me on the draft.
Yeah, that's right. So, our pass rush, and I'm talking our edge, and I'm not even going to talk about Paye. Paye's a rookie. We didn't, in all honesty, learning curves as a rookie. But all those other guys, Tyquan Lewis, Ben Banogu, Kamoko Toure, those second-year guys, when it's third down and like 4 or 5 and longer, you got to get home. And you sure as hell can't let a quarterback take off on you, pick up 25 yards. That's something you can't have. Now, I knew Ryan Tannehill was dangerous like that. I've been saying it for years. Just, it seems like only the guys, fans from his team understands that. But, Jacoby can move too. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's tough to bring down, and he's not afraid to take off with the football when he needs to. I mean, there's a reason why he was our quarterback sneak guy last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we need our pass rush to get home. We just have not been. We've had one pressure all year. One quarterback pressure the entire year. Now that is not right. That's not right. 3 games.
Is that just from the ends, you mean? Or,
for the team. The whole. See, the quarterback pressures count as pressures that are not hits or sacks.
Right.
So, those times that DeForest Buckner's gotten in there, gotten a sack, or ended up hitting the quarterback at the end of the play, that's a quarterback hit or a quarterback sack. Not just a pressure where you're pushing them out and making them run. there were times, like the majority of the times when Tannehill took off, he wasn't under pressure. There was just open room in front of him. He decided to go, or, the clock in his head went off and he's like, well, I've been standing here for 7 seconds. I might as well go ahead and take off and run now. Somebody's sooner or later going to get to me. We got to do something about that.
Because what was the rushing without? Because Tannehill, he got, what was it, 43 yards or something like that.
57 in
57.
3 runs.
Okay, and then the team had what for the entire game? My point is if you take away Tannehill's 57 and make it a respectable 13 or 14 yards, in 3 plays.
Yeah, but 113 for Derrick Henry, and he averaged 4.5 a carry.
See, and for an entire game, that's job done.
For Derrick Henry.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Job done. If you sat there and held Derrick Henry and then, had the lack of performance that you had with Julio and Brown, 3 turnovers. Oh, man. You sit there and you read all these stats, on an individual basis, and you're like, oh, yeah, the Colts should have won. Oh, yeah, the Colts should have won. And then you've seen it, and I felt there was very few times during that game that I felt like, we were in a position to take control of this game. There was a couple instances, like when we were 14-10 and stuff, where I was like, okay, but like I said, it never felt like we had the momentum. We never had the flow or anything that just made me going, yeah, we got this, And I'm a guy that wants to do that. I'm a guy that finds just the littlest thing, and I'm hyped about it. So
felt that way against Seattle. Felt that way multiple times against the Rams. Not once did I feel that way against the Titans. It felt like that was the Titans game the whole game, the entire game. Guys, appreciate each and every one of you. I want to take this moment since we're almost 40 minutes in. Holy crap. Please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so you are notified next time we go live and or upload a video. If you haven't checked out the video that I uploaded a couple hours ago about Marlon Mack and the Indianapolis Colts agree to seek a trade for Marlon Mack, please go check that out after this stream. Don't go right now, please. Just wait, and then you can go.
Your part's getting ready to start happening.
Right. But don't forget also, if you want to support this other than just hitting the like button, and you can't afford to use the link right here in the description for a super chat or something like that, or buy stuff on the merch, free app, Newsbreak. I got stuff on there. It's Newsbreak only stuff. Between me and Loyalist and me and DeQuell Jackson and just me. Go check us out. It's a free app, totally free for you, but everyone who uses the link in the description and downloads and follows me puts money in our pocket. So go check that out. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. Alpha says, Lawrence, have you ever heard of opening a new tab? Well, some people are on the phone watching this. And also, are you seriously going to watch 2 videos at the same time? Come on now. All right.
Now, Alpha does, so don't even challenge him.
No, while he's working. All right. McChicken, appreciate you being in here. Toxic Tommy, thank you for being in here as well. McChicken, bro, I actually like a lot of your points. And he says here, I know how to solve all the Colts problems. Use the 1970s triple option offense and the 1950s 5-3 defense. It'll work. You know what? The triple option for the Colts would be great if Carson Wentz could take 2 steps without falling over. That's the only thing that I got a problem with that. Now, we're going to talk about Wildcat. That would be really cool to see some Wildcat implemented against a team this Sunday that used to utilize the Wildcat a lot. All right? I think that would be really, really cool to watch. And I think we have the personnel to run a Wildcat a few times.
Well, that's if we don't trade Marlon.
Before then? Yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, guys, we're at that point now. 2 steps without spraining both ankles. 2 steps without tipping over like a freaking candy cane. Held up, stuck. But yeah, I feel like this is a game. This is a must-win game, and we're gonna break the Miami game down. Later this week. I'm going to be part of TD Finn's talk, and then he's going to join me as well. I'm going to be joining him. He's going to be joining me. That's going to happen tomorrow. Keep an eye out for announcements on that. And I'm going to try to get a hold of Douglas Durong, see if he'd be willing to do something with me as well, because I really respect him as well when it comes to learning and talking about the Miami Dolphins. We'll be able to know a little bit about what's going on with that. Alpha, there's nothing wrong with having 2 Lawrence Owens on the screen. Oh. All right. So is there, I don't know, someone else that needs to step up, and it's not just a player. Our defensive line coach.
Yes.
Our defensive line coach needs to step up. Okay? We're talking about how the players, need to get pressure on the quarterback. Bro, why don't the coach go in there and teach them things on how to do that? Right?
But I remember watching him real heavily because I'm a Brian Baker fan. I have been since, he was at Alabama, and even probably a little before that. I really like what we saw during training camp. Now, here again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I mean, I've enjoyed what he's brought to this team and stuff over the last couple of years. But I agree, there's something that we're missing with the development of our defensive line, especially on the outside edges. And in all honesty, I mean, we didn't develop DeForest, and Grover. I mean. I don't know if we developed him or if he just came out of the womb ready to, eat offensive linemen for breakfast. I don't know, but but I feel like the talent that we have acquired. I like Kamoko Ture. I like Kwity Paye. I mean, I was intrigued by Ben Banigou when we first drafted. But like you said, you see these talented men and stuff, but they're just not accomplishing everything that we have been hyping and been expecting and stuff. And this was the year. I mean, I remember for 2.5, 3 months, we kept saying all these year 2 or all these second round draft picks have to really step up and perform and stuff. And I agree. I don't know that it's the coaching, if it's, the people that we're drafting. I mean, I honestly, it's too early. I mean, like you said, the whole Kwity, I don't sit there and think Kwity has not been everything that, you would want from a rookie. Okay. And he is out there getting the reps. He's not Jacob Eason. He's been given ample opportunities and will again, as long as he's healthy, I believe. And I do, well, just like I did with Tyquan. I really thought Tyquan was going to come out and just have a big, awesome year this year. And I know he's been banged up, with whether it's the shoulder or the groin. And it's like, I don't know. Is it injuries? Is it coaching? Whatever it is, like you said, this Miami game, these guys have to go in there and say, no excuses. And really, I know they always say that, but when they say no excuse, they just have to, what? Your arm's broken? Tape that bad boy up. Look at our quarterback. Get in there. Do what you got to do. No excuses. Just end result. Just win a flipping game. Let's get 1-3. And just start like they've always said. Start day at a time, just building this team, because 0-3 is not the same as it has been in all year because of the extra game, because of the extra playoff spots. I mean, so, 0-3 is not the end of the world like it used to be. I mean, I understand that it's not where I want to be, but in the same token, I'm not nearly as concerned. But we're still saying the same thing we were saying before week 1. We have all these question marks. When are some of these question marks going to at least give us the answer one way or the other? Because, I mean, we haven't seen Xavier Rhodes hardly to speak of. Kenny Moore, we didn't think he was a question mark. Darius Leonard, we didn't think he was a question mark. Bobby Okereke, I mean, has he told us what his answer is? Is he not going to? Oh, gosh. Bobby, have we figured out what Bobby's doing out there? I mean, is he going to be able? I mean, yeah. I just, like you said, I don't know that it's the coaching, because I everything we saw during training camp was very impressive. I remember kept saying how he was coaching Quiddy to just sit there and focus on learning a lesson and stuff. I respect and believe in that strategy 100%. But there again, you sit there and you look at the end result, and the NFL is a result-driven league. And right now, I don't like where this results are driving us. How's that?
Gotcha, I understand. Kenneth Evanowski, 6 minutes ago, donated $5 in the YouTube chat. I appreciate you so much, my guy. Now, please, if there's anything you want to say, ask, whatever, to go with that, please feel free, drop it in the chat. I noticed that there wasn't anything added in with that. I want you to know that we are here for you. $5 gets you a question, a comment, something, bring it up. But something else I haven't seen enough of, and with the athleticism and speed that the Indianapolis Colts have on that defensive line, and it kind of makes me think a little bit about here, where they're talking about McChickens like he'd like to see Buckner take some edge snaps. Well, what about the stunts? What happened to those stunts that we used to run so well the last couple years? I have not been seeing hardly any of those this year. And that's something that we were really good at. And we got the speed and the agility to do stunts a lot. Even Grover Stewart could roll in with stunts. Why don't we use some of that more often? That's something that I would love to see. Cyborg says that Paris Campbell looks worse and worse every day with DK there. It has nothing to do with Paris and his ability. Paris Campbell's ability is there, and it is great. He's just not being put in a position to do what he is supposed to be doing. Because T.Y. is out, he's now playing outside wide receiver, which does not utilize the abilities that he has to its utmost fullest. That's the situation. But he's on the field. He is getting open. That's another thing. Paris is getting open. But there is no time for Carson Wentz to get to him on the routes that he's running, because his routes take a little bit longer for him to get open because of where the breaks and stuff are. And Carson just don't have time to wait for that. That's not Paris's fault. That's the play. That's the person calling the play. That's the issue. Just saying. All right, getting in here. Can we just talk about something that doesn't need to step up, like Hot Rod? Hot Rod missed a field goal for the first time in like 16 years. Well, at least, for a while anyhow, this past week. So, yeah, he needs to step up too. You missed, dude. Wide right. Remember that? Remember you missing wide right? You better get things straight, Hot Rod. Oh, okay. This defense is too concerned with creating turnovers, not just take care of the basics, Wentz season says. Now, we have discussed this at length multiple times in multiple streams. Loyalist even stepped into it a little bit earlier when it came to the Darius Leonard thing. And, honestly, with Derrick Henry, you need to tackle him. Don't worry about punching that ball out. Tackle him. Otherwise, you're going to be on your butt, and he's going to gain another 5 yards right past you.
If you're lucky, only 5.
If you're lucky, only 5, right? That's the situation. You need to take care of that. Miami, you need, and this is all honesty, you're going to need to get the turnovers against Miami. And the reason you're going to need to get turnovers is because they generally don't. Brissett's not a turnover machine, like I said earlier. So get the turnovers where you can. Okay? Expect turnovers to happen with the Titans. They do every year, every game. Your defense gets turnovers with them. Don't force them. They'll come. Miami's a different story. Brissett's a different story. We know this. We've played against Brissett. We've had Brissett on our team. So, play to his weakness, not to his strength.
And the thing, I don't know. I mean, generally speaking, when they say that the defense needs to, worry about the basics, you're talking about tackling and wrapping up. And I felt like, our defense did fairly good against the Titans. You know what I mean? And I felt like we did.
As long as
from week 1, week 2, week 3, I feel like we have seen a good progression in our tackling. And I really, like I said, I don't mind the Darius Leonard because you know what? When he punches the ball out of Coutie's hands on the 1-yard line, or when he punches the ball out of the Raiders, to seal these are plays that you're only going to get from a Darius Leonard type of mentality and stuff. But he's also pretty good at completing the play while he's doing it. Now, I agree. Like you said, when you're taking on a mammoth of a man such as Derrick Henry, you know what? Business decision isn't whether you go for the strip or you try to blow him up. Business decision is do you stop him for a 4-yard gain or do you let him get 15?
Yeah.
He's a different creature all on his own.
I can't be more happy with the way our defensive tackles have played. Even the backups. The backups have played well, at our tackle position. The interior of our defensive line has been great. Our linebackers and edge, when it comes to stopping the run, for the most part, has needed a little bit of help. That's where all those extra yards came from. When Henry went up the middle, he never gained more than 2 yards. When he went to the outside edges, that's when you saw him bust out the 10 and the 15-yard runs. So that's the issue. DeQuanta Clark, ain't seen you in here in a minute. Thanks for being here. Miami is a turnover team. They get turnovers. Yes, they do, especially through the freaking air. So the good thing is the Indianapolis Colts, even with the busted offensive line and the hobbled, we don't turn the foot. We haven't been turning the football over really. We've been pretty good at holding on to the football. We keep winning the turnover battle, but don't win the games. That's weird. Really, really freaking weird. That's just not something that generally happens in the NFL, right? Now,
but this team is good for that. This team is to sit there. For some reason, over the last 2 years, you can sit there and take a bunch of our game stat lines and read them off the, just not watch the game and read the stat lines. And you'd be like, oh, okay, the Colts won. And then you turn around and find out that not only did they not win, they weren't really even in the game. And it's like, how do you win the turnover 3-0 and still lose by 2 scores? Against a team that wasn't producing. I mean, could you imagine if Tennessee was firing on all its cylinders, what that score should have been like last week?
Oh God, it was nasty. Yeah, we should have lost by like at least 17. That game, it was a bad outing, and it was a bad outing from the get-go. I mean, when the first half, the time of possession is 20 minutes to 10 minutes, that tells you something. That tells you all you need to know about how that half went. The Titans completely dominated on offense, and the Colts weren't able to get anything going on offense. That's what you know, right?
They did what we needed to do to them.
Yeah, exactly. Alpha says, Lawrence, Loyalist, do you think that the Colts are at least a playoff team this season? Did you just bring up playoffs?
Playoffs!
What's funny is I think that's exactly the first thing that Alpha said in the freaking chat before we even started. All right? So that's kind of funny that he brings it up. Yes, I was paying attention, Alpha. But, yeah, I don't even want to talk about playoffs yet. Do I think that we're much better than an 0-3 team? Absolutely. I think that injuries and cohesion is our biggest issues, right? I really do. And I think we could start winning. I think we can start getting back on that winning trajectory if we could just get some health going here and get a positive, because win one game and then it starts to become a thing, you know, and then you win 2 games and then it becomes even more, and you'll start getting that downhill roll going, you know, and it'll be a lot easier to win games rather than, you know, put up an effort like what we saw this past Sunday.
Yeah, because I do not want to go into Monday Night Football 0-4 after losing to a Jacoby Brissett-led Miami Dolphins. That just, I mean, to be honest with you, that particular circumstance is what makes this game more of a must-win than, you know, the record and the number of games left and stuff. Because, I mean, 14 games, the math's still there. I mean, I think we all pretty much agreed if we can get to 11 wins that, you know, okay, well, 14 games, yeah, you still got some room. But to sit there and think that this Miami opportunity, okay, without their starting quarterback, with, you know, their run defense not being as good as what our running game should be, okay, I feel like this is the ideal opportunity for the Colts to do the gut check I was talking about. Find that, you know, internal fortitude, whatever it is that they need, get this W, and then have a week of more positive interviews. Have a week of more positive in the locker room, because, I mean, you see how Darius reacts. You see how Naheem Hines. I mean, these guys are. I just can't imagine being in a locker room for a week with these guys, and with this taste in their mouth, and with this, you know, hanging over their head. I mean, the energy. I mean, and I'm not saying that they're turning on one another or anything like that, but I mean, Darius, like you said, let's start playing football. Let's just have fun. You know what I mean? And it's not fun losing.
What's the importance right now is getting back to 500. That's how we're going to fight to get a playoff spot, right? So if we're looking at this week as our first win, let's say we win against the Dolphins and we end up 1-3. And then we go and we play the Ravens. Let's say we lose against the Ravens. We start off 1-4 in the first 5 games. Then we play the Texans, which would put us at 2-4. Then we play the Niners. Let's say we lose to the Niners. All right, 2-5. Then we host the Titans. We should be healthy by then. We could beat the Titans. All right, I'm going to say that. I still say we split with the Titans. That's 3-5. Then we got the Jets and the Jaguars. Look at that. After week 10, we're 5-5 and got 7 games left. We have a shot, ladies and gentlemen. And
we played one AFC team so far. That's it.
Yeah. Through that whole stretch. Also, the only 2 teams that we're going to be playing, we're going to get the Titans out of the way, and then we're going to play the Jags and the Texans once, you know, in that first 10-game stretch. We have a shot at getting back to 500 and still have 7 games left to play. We have a shot at getting back. We just got to start getting healthy, get things back together, and doing and that's what losing games that before the season started, I was calling 50-50 games. Like the Niners, like the Ravens, right? Those was what I looked at, and I was like, those are 50-50 games. But I honestly believe that the Colts still have a shot at getting back to 500 with plenty of time. Plenty of time.
And like I said, the league is coming back to us. You know, we had all our injuries early on and stuff, and now we slowly are starting to get our guys coming back a little healthier. And now, you know, you hear, I mean, week in and week out, I mean, teams are, this guy's gone and that guy's gone. And knock on wood, if Q doesn't, you know, come out missing any games or whatever, then we didn't lose anybody this week as far as from this last week to this week. So if we can do that, hey, phase 1 complete. We're returning players for week 2. Let's do it.
All right, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's been an hour. An hour, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much. Did y'all see the Kylan Granson? Micaiah Bowman asks this. Did y'all see the Kylan Granson was open for a touchdown on the linebacker when Pascal dropped that pass on the goal line? No, but to be fair, I was looking at other stuff when I was watching the game, and I didn't get through the, I don't have all 22 to go and look at specific things like that, so there were other things that could have happened. But also, you also got to remember, was he ever, just because someone's open doesn't mean the opportunity was there, because where was he on the check down list, right? That's the thing. Okay, you could point at an open receiver on any play at any given game, but a quarterback has to go through his progressions, and that whoever he's on, that he needs to be open or about to be open when he's at that progression, right? And that's the thing. So was Kylan Granson number 2? Was he number 4 on the progression? If he was number 4, I'm going to say he probably never had a shot at ever getting targeted, because, he just hasn't had the time to go through 4 progressions.
and not only that, I mean, that's what Zach Pascal's done. He blocks and he scores touchdowns. I mean, and I would imagine, from the way I understand it, because there again, I didn't see the play, but I heard about. I mean, it was a catchable pass. And this was a pass that 8 times out of 10, Zach Pascal's going to catch and score a touchdown. So, are you going to want to sit there and put your money on the horse that's been doing it for a few years and has shown that reliability, or are you going to sit there and want to go with your rookie and
who's had drop problems all off season and preseason, right? During the
and hasn't been much of a game plan through any of the games.
Exactly. Alpha asks, has Game Pass had all 22? No, it's still not out, and they're saying, last I checked, mid season. So I am really, really pissed off. And let me emphasize those words. I am pissed off at NFL.com, okay? Because I give you my money every year specifically for that. And to be able to go play to play in the games, where I could select individual plays. And instead, I get a stupid slide bar that I have to slide across and hope to good that I know what play I'm getting to, and it takes me 14 years in order to find the play that I'm wanting to look at. So, no, I'm really ticked off with NFL.com. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Please smash that like button. I'm looking at that right now, and, I thought this was a good stream, guys. I really did. And I appreciate you guys. All 16 of you that hit the like button, thank you so much. But, hopefully we'll get some more people in these streams. Guys, you know a way you could help us do that? Share our streams out. There's a little red share button down there below Loyalist underneath his Colts symbol there. Wrong side. There you go. Right there it is, Loyalist.
I see it on the shirt. Like, damn, I went the wrong.
Right,
it's 50-50 for me. Everything's
You hit that share. You can share it to your favorite social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Colts.com, fan forums. I don't care. You could help us out a ton by sharing this stream out to friends and family and those of you co-workers. I don't care. Thanks so much, though, for joining here. Appreciate all of your guys' comments and questions. Really help us make a really good stream today. Until next time, though, which probably will be tomorrow, because, like I said, TD Fins Talk. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And as usual, have a good one. Law. I haven't hit the ending yet. Where's the ending? Oh, there's the ending. Bye-bye.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.